As a business owner who's creating content, whether it be posting on social media or sending out emails to your list or collaborating with other business owners, I'm going to assume that you want your content to actually be doing something for your business. And so using a template that kind of tells you Mondays could be a Monday motivation day, Tuesday, do a Tuesday tip day, or downloading like a random 30-day content plan from somebody who knows absolutely nothing about your business, your offers, your audience, all of that stuff, is not a content strategy. So what is a content strategy? A content strategy is a plan to use your content to generate leads and sales in your business. How do we know when your content strategy is successful? If it's working. If you're making content and you're seeing those inquiries and leads and sales coming in, you know that your content is actually doing what you want it to do. So what if it isn't? Well, that's what this video is all about. Hang around, we're going to get into the 4 reasons that your content may not be doing what you wish it was. Welcome to my channel. My name is Candice Davies. I'm an online business and content strategist. I love all things content. For me, content is the glue that pulls your whole business together. So let's get into it straight away. Let's start with number 1. If your content is not generating leads and sales, it's not converting, the first thing I would say we need to look at is whether or not you have an audience problem. And what I mean by that is how large is your audience? Okay, now I'm not saying you have to have a 10,000K follower count to be successful, not at all. But what I am saying is that it's going to be very hard to sell your offers and generate the kinds of revenue that you may be hoping for if you've got 10 followers or if you're brand new on a platform. So you've got to give yourself time, and if that is you, maybe what you need to be focusing on is your audience growth first before focusing on your revenue generation. Okay, so the first thing I would look at is what is your audience size like and what is the temperature of that audience? Are they dead? Is there absolutely it's like you might as well literally be speaking to a wall, okay? No one's answering you. That's when you hear people say things like, it's crickets, okay? I'm speaking to the void. So if your audience is dead, of course, it's going to be very hard to know whether or not your content is working. If your audience is warm, you're going to have far more feedback. You're going to have people commenting and engaging. Okay, so we're going to look at all kinds of stuff around your audience, the size of your audience, the temperature of your audience, what platforms you're on, where are you growing your audience, and if you're struggling with that, what are ways that you can expand your reach, get in front of new people, and make sure that the people you are getting in front of are the right ones. Second thing I would look at is maybe you've got a messaging problem. Now, this is a really broad topic, and in its most simplest terms, I always think about messaging as literally the words, like how are you communicating with your audience? Is the content landing with them? And if it isn't, it's very often because of things, and again, we can talk about this for a long time, but it's things like you're trying to describe things to your audience as a business owner, as a person who has a lot of experience and knowledge in your field versus how your person would describe things or where your person is at. So how are you communicating with your audience? How do you view your audience? Is it one homogeneous, group of people that are all the same? Or do you understand that your audience can be a group of people, and within that audience, you're going to have smaller groups of people who are in different phases of the thing that you can help with? Why does that matter? Because the third area I would look at when it comes to troubleshooting what's happening with your content would be, well, maybe you've got an offer problem. So maybe it's not that your content isn't landing, maybe it's that the solution or the service you're putting in front of people is one that they simply don't actually want. It's not the most pressing thing for them, right? Or it might be that you only have one offer, but like we've just said, when you understand your audience deeply and understand that there are subsets of people in your audience, different offers will make sense to different subsets. So it could very well be that there is an offer problem. Okay, so of course you're not going to see conversions, you're not going to see sales if the thing you're trying to sell isn't the thing that people really want. And our job is to find out, well, what is that thing? What is the thing that's going to make people say, I need that, I want to pay for that, right? Okay, the fourth thing that I would look at if your content isn't doing what you want it to do, and again, ideally that is to be generating leads and sales, it would be to look at literally how are you packaging your content. So I don't mean now as in your messaging, I mean as in when you're speaking about something, how have you padded that content? In other words, does the person know what to do next? Like, have you linked it for the person so that they can take the next step with you? And often we speak about this with the word funnels, right? So like, what is the journey a person can take with you so that they can take that next step with you? Have you included that in your content? Are you giving people short resources that will help them take that next step, and then the next, and then the next? Because very often we think that if we just share this super valuable information, people are just naturally going to reach out to us and ask how to work with us. And, you know, many of us have discovered it doesn't happen that way. We actually have to put structures in place with our content to facilitate those conversions, those inquiries, those DMs. So a strategy, guys, a content strategy is a well thought out plan that links what you are speaking about, what you are putting out, to what you want to see happen in your business. You want to see lead gen, you want to see conversions, sales, your email list growing, more subscribers, more followers. Is my content, or what is my plan to make my content do that in my business? And again, very often, not a lot of business owners actually stop to say, okay, I've been doing this for a while now, and is it actually working? And if it isn't, I need to adjust something in my strategy, because clearly what I've been doing is not generating leads or sales in my business. Now, if this is a topic that interests you, I would really encourage you to go and watch this video right now, which speaks more in depth about audience and the subsets in your audience. And I'm also going to link a couple shorter videos that you can watch that I've made on this exact topic, which is all around content creation, conversions, and lead gen funnels, all that kind of stuff. You can find it in the description. I'll link everything there for you. If you are ready to start developing a more coherent and kind of like focused strategy, please go check out. It's a short, under 60-minute training that I've put together. It's called the Content Connection, and it will really help you start laying the foundations for a solid content strategy that is linked to business goals. You'll find all of it in the description below. Shout out in the comments if you have what is your number one frustration when it comes to seeing your content actually be strategic. And I promise you I'll answer every single comment, so do that now.